How's it going, everyone? It's Sam. I want to talk to you about the bombshell the Ark Invest just dropped on Coinbase stock. So I will get right into it here. If you guys don't mind hitting the like button, I really appreciate that. This makes me really bullish on it. And I just did a video talking about the bear case. And this is going to be really interesting to show you what Ark Invest and what Cathie Wood said, and to show you how much they bought. If you guys want, you can get free crypto down below from BlockFi. You have to make a deposit, and you can get up to $250 in Bitcoin. You can get an interest rate. Also, there's a link down there to WeBull. But let's get into it here. So I'll just straight up play what they said about Coinbase yesterday.
All right, let's talk about the new shiny object today, which is Coinbase. The reference price is $250 per share. We're getting indications that it could open at $340 per share. Do you have a price target for Coinbase?
We do. I am reticent to give it. It is far above where it's going to open, we think. Now, there are a lot of assumptions in there, and you want to talk about volatility, just look at a chart of Bitcoin. There's going to be there are going to be great opportunities between now and 5 years to buy on dips, we believe. I have no idea where it's going to open. We were trying to figure that out ourselves today. We do believe, however, that it has miles to go, because institutional interest in Bitcoin alone, which is the largest cryptocurrency out there, is, we think, going to add up to $500,000 to the price of Bitcoin. And when I say that, we've based this on a study focusing on what institutions are looking for. They're looking for low correlations of returns. This is a new asset class. So institutions are interested, they are moving in, and if they add up to 5% in their asset allocation to Bitcoin, that alone could be up to a $500,000 increase in the price. So we're at the very beginning of what we believe is going to be a long and exciting journey.
Okay, let me see if I can prod you a little bit more to give us specifics on a price target for Coinbase. You're reticent to maybe give us a number, but can you give me a ballpark on the percent gains that you think you could see, using your 5-year approach?
This is well above our minimum hurdle rate of return of $15, even if it does open. Of 15% per year, even if it does open as high as $250 or $300, even at those prices, given our assumptions. Now, again, we expect tremendous volatility in this. It's going to be unstable in terms of investors and analysts understanding what Coinbase actually is. It makes most of its money on the trading of Bitcoin and Ether. Those are the two biggest, and it's going into a lot of other cryptocurrencies and crypto assets. So it's got a lot of open-ended opportunities, but right now they're making about 70 basis points on each trade, on each dollar traded, and we think there will be fee compression, as there always is in the institutional world, and as competition increases. So I think the opportunities in this stock, to the extent there are dips out there, will come around the idea of, oh my goodness, how much is competition going to drive these fees down? And we do think the compression will be to 50 cents within the next 5 years, or 50 basis points. So you'll watch the dynamic: volume explosion, fee compression. Again, we'll pick our spots around volatility.
Okay, so she talks about this for about another minute. They prod back and forth, trying to get her to give a price target. But the big bomb that she dropped is that she thinks that the basis points are going to drop from 70 down to 50. So in my last video, talk about the bear case, I talk about no trading fees at all. But she's saying we're going to have a drop of about 30% probably in the next 5 years. So again, I'll show you how much they bought here towards the end, but let's take a look at what this would mean for them. So this is really back of the envelope. We have 70 basis points now, 50 basis points in a year. Let's say they decrease last quarter's revenue by this percentage, right? This 30% essentially, because 0.5 divided by 0.7 is about 30%. So we would have a revenue of about $1.33 billion just this last quarter if we decreased right now. And this would give us, if we take this right off of the bottom line, so we get this decrease of about $462 million. If we take that right away from their net income from last quarter, we have about $337 million in net income for last quarter, which obviously we had about $800 million. This would be a big decrease. And that's assuming that all of that money comes from the bottom line. Let's say then we push this out, we do 4 quarters of that revenue, of that net income. That would be about $1.35 billion. Now, if we grow this at a compounded annual growth rate of 20%, by 2025, we would have a net income of about $3.4 billion. Now, from there, you can project, okay, let's say it's at a 20 PE, which is less than it is now. Let's say that it's at a 20 PE. That would be about a $67 billion market cap. Now, that is the only number in this whole chart that actually prices in a decrease from where we are now. Now, of course, we're assuming certain things here, but if we put at a 30 PE, which is around where it is now, that would put us at a $100 billion market cap. Now, we're at about an $85 billion market cap at the time of this recording, around about 330, 325. If we put them at a 60 PE, we'd have a $200 billion market cap, and then 100 PE would be about 335. Now, if they're only growing at 20% a year, I don't think we'd hit this market cap of about 335 billion. I think that would be much too high. But as we go down the line here, you can see, let's move up to the 50% compounded annual growth rate, which last quarter we grew 900% since the year before that quarter. So these are still somewhat conservative on some of these. So 50% compounded annual growth rate, we would have net income of about $10 billion if we put ourselves at a 20 PE, which would be way too low if we're going 50% a year. If we did that, we would have a $204 billion market cap. That would give us about a 2.5x over the next 5 years. Now we go to a 30 PE, that would put us at a $300 billion. Now you start going down the line, it gets kind of crazy, right? Because I've been assuming eventually they would get to zero transaction fees. They're saying decrease of about 30%. So we get into, let's say, 70%. We would have a net income of about $19 billion. Let's say I think we would have a PE probably closer to 60 to 100. That would put us over $1 trillion. That would give us a significant boost from where we are now, a 12 to 15x over the next 5 years. If we go up to 100%, we could be a couple $1 trillion company by then. The other fascinating thing from this interview is the fact that she talks about buying the dip. Cathie talks about buying the dip on Coinbase because of the volatility in Bitcoin and in Ethereum and in the crypto market. She talks about wanting to buy the dip as time goes on. They're going to continuously buy. The thing that I find fascinating about this is the fact that they bought a significant amount on the day of. So they bought about 750,000 shares between their different accounts. They bought about $250 million worth. Now, that's where I find fascinating. They talk about wanting to buy the dip because they think it's going to increase dramatically over the coming years. They talk about how it's going to exceed their 15% compounded annual growth rate that they expect on price. They want to buy the dip, but they bought a significant portion the first day. I find that fascinating. I think they're going to buy a lot over the long term. I'm curious to see where it goes from here. If you guys want to see my last bear video, you can check it out on the end screen. Now, I do have a pretty nice stake in Coinbase now that I was buying yesterday, but I want to hear your thoughts. Of course, there is a bearish scenario here that could be played out, but I'm still bullish on Coinbase over the long term, and I find it really interesting what Ark said there. If you guys want to see my last video where I go over the bearish case, I'll put it up on the end screen. Thank you for watching. Please hit the like button. Check out those links down below to BlockFi. And if you want to see what I buy and sell on a daily basis, you can check out the link down below to Patreon. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next video.